Happy weekend to you. It's Saturday morning. It's September 27th, 2025, as I record this. And I really didn't want to talk about stock price. I've talked so much about it recently. However, what we saw yesterday, well, let me just show you what I saw. When I dug a little bit deeper after I did the video, and the video I dropped in the morning, Friday morning, I talked about this pre-market candle with the wick that went down to $7.21 because I was curious if that's where shorts would want to take the price. But by the time I dropped the video on YouTube and checked back at NIO Stock, and this is my reference, after I released this, NIO Stock dropped, and I mean by about 20 cents. But what I noticed was there were over 20 million shares traded in about an hour, and over 15 million of them were in the dark pool. And here's what the exchange volume looked like for Friday, September 26, 2025. Over 54%, almost 55% of the day's trade volume happened off exchange or in dark pools. In other words, it was almost certainly big money. And with less than 100 million shares traded, we didn't have huge volume. But this got me thinking. So not only did I pull up the dark pool trade volume, and the dark pool is shown up here. This is the trade volume that goes on, and this is that time frame where after I dropped the video and then realized we had a pump on the volume with a dump with the stock price, I saw that there were over, and I just quickly tallied up, over 15 million shares traded in the dark pool. So that was probably our sell-off point. But that also got me thinking, I normally don't pay attention to max pain, but with market makers who also have short positions in NIO, perhaps the stock price mattered to them at the end of the day. And max pain for Friday, September 26, 2025 was $7. And where did NIO close the day? At close, $7.06. So what'll be interesting to see is on Monday what happens with trade volume if we see things pop right back up. I will link the video where I talked about some of the market makers who also have short or put positions in NIO because they also have them in Alibaba. Also, I want to offer this because every once in a while people will reference or ask me about or talk about, and I think a lot of people do videos talking about short volume. Here's one of my issues with it. I want to show you this. A lot of folks maybe don't pay attention to this, but all these little asterisks, these little extras, they're referenced at different points. And then when you come down here, what you'll find is, in this case, not every exchange reports the daily short volume free of charge or at all. So total volume in this table will be less than the daily volume. So in other words, we don't get access to real-time accurate data in a lot of these cases. And also, if we, circle back and recognize that if market makers who have gotten in trouble for manipulating things in the past are involved in shorting something, and certainly when we see some craziness like this on a day where they needed price down 20 cents and they got it down about the 20 cents they needed, I just think it's all very fascinating. As it's all, for me, it continues to be research and study and then sharing things when they look pretty glaringly obvious. But this makes maybe Monday price action even more, interesting moving forward. We also should get FTD data on Monday. Frankly, and in this last video, I said I'm kind of getting tired of talking about stock price action. And so I was almost kicking myself because I didn't want to do this video. And yet it was just too compelling to ignore and not share what I was seeing. So I'll come back over the weekend, before the weekend is over, with the video, and we'll talk about things not related to NIO stock and the stock price action. But anyway, there's your max pain dark pool update from Friday. So have a great day or night whenever you see this. I'll see y'all again very soon.